speaker of the evening is Percy Mavizela. Percy is delivering not a project speech, but he is uh, preparing for our speech contest. So before we listen to Percy's contest speech, I will ask his evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Ian Flint, to inform us of the objectives and timing of his speech. Mr. Flint.
Mr. Toastmaster, gentlemen, I take it that since Percy is delivering a contest speech, I don't have specific criteria on which to evaluate his message, but I shall obviously watch the general and comment on general presentation, general message, body language, vocal variety, and eye contact and the like. So it'll be a general evaluation on all the specific important parts of delivering a good speech. Mr. Toastmaster.
Mr. Tosmaster, sorry for interruption. May I make a quick point? I know that it is a tradition of the club for the members of the club to comment on all speeches, but I want to request you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, to pay particular attention to the speech so that we can give Percy a point or two in terms of what he needs to do better and what he needs to improve on. Thank you, Mr. Tosmaster.
Thank you, Mr. President and Mr. Flint for his evaluation. Gentlemen, our second speaker of the evening is Percy Mavizela, speaking to the title of Mind, Body and Soul. Mind, Body and Soul, please help me welcome Percy Mavizela.
Mr. Session Leader, gentlemen, a friend of mine who's very popular on social media recently went on a trip to the God's Window, a tourist destination in Mpumalanga, and she got the disappointment of her life. You see, my friend was keen on seeing the actual God's Window. So upon arrival in the destination, on site, to her amazement, she didn't quite see anything that looked like God's window. You see, she was expecting that she would arrive there and then probably find a building, and then on this building, locate where the God's window is positioned. And then obviously, when she gets there, I know for a fact she'd probably capture and take some pictures for her social media. And to be perfectly honest, I am so glad that she could not find God's window, because I can only imagine pictures or poses of all sorts in those pictures that will be captured next to God's window. I can imagine her sticking her tongue out, taking a picture next to God's window. I can imagine her pouting her lips, blowing a kiss next to God's window. And this pose I find truly disturbing, and especially next to God's window. It is where she would be strutting her package, showing what her mama gave her, because that is what most of these social media influencers like to do. But I need you to pay attention right now, because from my friend's experience, I learned a very important lesson that I would like to share with you, and it is quite deep. The quality of your life and the quality of your everyday lived experience, it really depends on how connected the mind and the body and the soul is. I'm going to break it down and help you understand this a little bit. The mind, it's where all the ideas, it's where all the decisions are born. And then in the body, it is where the action, the manifestation of these ideas and decisions, it's going to happen. And then when we come to the soul, now I need you to hear me well. The soul is the bigger picture. The soul presents the motives, the means, and the outcomes of all our decisions, our ideas, and our actions put together. So a friend of mine did not have her expectations met on this trip to Mpumalanga, probably because some pieces of the puzzle were, maybe her soul was not connected to the mind, or the mind was not connected to the body, or the body not to the soul, or anything like that. And then sometimes in life, we also do not achieve or realize the outcomes that we desire, because also maybe there's that disconnection between the mind, the body, and the soul. So now another important thing about the mind, the body, and the soul is that whatever ideas, whatever decisions, and whatever action a human being is taking, they need to be of value. And if they are of value, that is when a human being will get to experience the bigger picture. So if the decisions of your mind, the actions of your body, they are of any value, and then in that way, you get to complete, you know, the whole elements of the body, the mind, and the soul. So a friend of mine, she had to learn the hard way that God's window, it's not actually an object that you can arrive, take pictures, and then floss those pictures on a social media platform. God's window, it's just a beautiful panoramic view of the Mpumalanga low-felt forest. That's when she also learned that sometimes we chase the waterfalls and then we forget the rivers and the lakes that we already have. Sometimes we like to chase the diamond and then we forget to appreciate the treasure that is right in front of us. So in the beginning of any new era, and then in any situation or in any circumstances, my strong belief is that in life, things, they always turn out right. Things, they always work themselves out right. So what we need as people in everyday life is just that strong connection between the mind, the body, and the soul. Thank you, Mr. Session.